Your radio clicks twice in your ear before you even open your eyes. That's the signal. Your principal is awake. Your day started 4 minutes ago and you were still asleep. You roll out of a hotel bed you didn't choose in a city you didn't pick, and your feet hit the floor already moving. No stretching. No coffee first. You check the earpiece battery. You check the room. You check the hallway through the peephole before you check your own reflection. This is not paranoia. This is Tuesday. What do most people picture when they hear the word bodyguard? A mountain of a man in sunglasses, arms crossed, standing perfectly still outside a velvet rope. Silent. Simple. Almost decorative, like a very expensive piece of furniture that occasionally throws a punch. That version of the job barely exists anymore. Today you're closer to a project manager with a concealed weapon. You read spreadsheets. You study floor plans. You know the nearest trauma center to every hotel your principal has ever slept in, and you know it before they've unpacked their bag. Sounds boring? It is for about 23 hours a day. And then it isn't for about 4 minutes. Those 4 minutes are the whole job. Your morning is logistics before it's anything else. You walk the route to the car 3 times. Once for you. Once for the driver. Once for the timing. Because a 60-second delay at the wrong intersection is the difference between routine and exposure. You know exactly how many steps from the lobby door to the vehicle. 19. You've counted them at every hotel this tour has stopped at. Your training taught you that predictability is the enemy, so even those 19 steps change speed depending on the crowd density outside. The earpiece never comes out. It's smaller than a grain of rice at the tip, wired down your collar to a transmitter you've stopped noticing is even there. Through it, your team calls out what they see in short, flat code. Not dramatic, almost bored sounding on purpose. Package moving. Crowd left, 12 o'clock. Clear. The calmer the voice, the more serious you take it, because panic in this job spreads faster than any actual threat does. Here's the number nobody guesses. Your training cost more than your first car. A serious executive protection course runs close to $9,000 for a 28-day residency, and that's before certifications in emergency medicine, defensive driving, and firearms licensing. You didn't walk into this job. You bought your way into it, piece by piece, long before anyone paid you a salary, and the salary itself is a wider gap than people assume. Entry-level agents doing corporate work start around $50,000 a year. Solid money, unremarkable. But step into the world of A-list celebrity protection, and the number changes shape entirely. Seasoned agents on high-profile details clear $130,000 to $145,000 a year. And at the very top, where the client is a global name with a global threat profile, the figure stops looking like a salary and starts looking like a rounding error on someone else's fortune. $3 million a year, base pay, plus performance bonuses tied to a job where the metric for success is that nothing happened at all. Sit with that for a second. You get paid the most, precisely when the least occurs. Your entire professional worth is measured in absence. No incident, no headline, no 2 a.m. phone call. The better you are, the more invisible your work becomes, and the harder it gets to explain to anyone outside this world what you actually did today. You don't get to choose who you protect, not really. Not once you're inside a firm with a client roster. You get assigned, and once you're assigned, your calendar disappears into theirs. Their premiere is your Tuesday night. Their spontaneous 4 a.m. flight to another continent is your spontaneous 4 a.m. flight to another continent. You've missed birthdays you can't get refunded. You've missed a funeral because a fan tried to climb a barricade 40 minutes before the service started, and someone needed to be between that fan and the car. Your family learns not to ask which city you're in. They ask if you're safe instead, which is a different question with a more complicated answer. You are trained to stay calm under threat, but nobody trains you for what it does to sit alone in a hotel room at 1 a.m., wide awake because your body is still running on someone else's adrenaline schedule, thinking about the empty chair at your own kitchen table 3,000 miles away. There's a particular kind of loneliness in this job that has nothing to do with being alone. You are physically closer to your principal than almost anyone else in their life, closer than most of their friends, closer than some of their family. You know their moods before their assistant does. You know when they're scared and hiding it well. And still, you are furniture to them most of the time, necessary, trusted, and somehow invisible in the same breath. You disappear into every photo. You're cropped out of every headline. Your entire job is to be the most important person in the room that nobody remembers was there. The threat assessment never really turns off, even off the clock. You walk into a restaurant on your own time and you've already clocked the exits before the host says how many in your party. You sit with your back to the wall out of instinct now, not choice. Your friends notice. They joke about it. You laugh along because explaining that your nervous system has been permanently recalibrated isn't really a conversation for a Friday night. The physical toll compounds quietly. You're standing for 12, sometimes 16 hours at a stretch. Your knees know this job before your mind admits it. The vigilance itself is exhausting in a way that has nothing to do with movement. Scanning a crowd for 40 minutes straight uses more mental energy than most people spend in a full workday, and you do it in bursts all day, every day, for a client who is often just walking into a coffee shop. And then there's the moment, the one that justifies the training, the salary, the missed birthdays, all of it in a single compressed span of seconds. A crowd surges wrong. A stranger moves too fast, too direct, hand reaching for something in a jacket that turns out to be a phone. But you don't know that yet. You can't know that yet. And your entire body has already made the decision your training built into you 100 training days ago. You step between your principle and the unknown, not because you decided to, because there was never really a decision to make. That's what the training actually buys. Not confidence. Certainty. Your body moving before your fear has time to catch up with it. Afterward, your hands might shake a little. Nobody sees that part. By the time the crowd realizes anything happened at all, you're already resetting, already scanning the next threat, already 3 steps into planning the exit route nobody asked you to plan. This is the part of the job that never makes the highlight reel, because if you did it right, there is no highlight reel. There's just a client who got into their car on time, slightly unaware of how close the day came to being a different kind of day entirely. What does a life like this actually teach you? That safety is not a feeling. It's a system, built one 19-step walk at a time, one earpiece check at a time, one uneventful Tuesday at a time. You start to understand that the people who seem the most powerful in the world are often the most exposed, and the ones protecting them are the only ones who ever see both sides of that truth up close. You stop being impressed by fame somewhere around your 2nd year. You start being impressed by competence instead, by the quiet kind of professionalism nobody photographs. Your radio clicks twice in your ear again, right on schedule. Your principle is moving, and once again, your day has already started before you've had time to think about whether you're ready for it. You are, though. You've been ready since the moment you stopped needing to think about it at all. Keep glowing and growing. Peace.